Hello everyone. Welcome back to my mini series that we have been running the last couple days. And we're going to be continuing into next week as well. There's going to be 6 total trainings on how to create a comfortable and supportive postpartum recovery space before baby arrives. And last time, this last Tuesday, we talked about finding the right place, the right space in your home to create this little sanctuary. And I gave you some really great tips on what to think about when selecting the right room, the right area for your home. So be sure to go back and look at that, because that's really where we start. We got to find the right space to be able to create this little retreat for your postpartum time frame so that you can really focus on your own healing, your own recovery, and bonding with your little one in the easiest, most functional way. So today we're going to dive into day 2, which is going to be all about investing in a comfortable bed and chair for your space. And this seems like a no-brainer, but I'm going to give you a couple of things maybe you haven't thought about when it comes to your bed and selecting a chair that's going to be the most comfortable and the most supportive for you and your little one once you are together in this world, Earthside, right? So I'm excited for you all to be here. I'm just going to give a few seconds here with an introduction to see if anybody joins us live. If you have any questions or comments during the training, please feel free to drop them below in the comments section. If I don't see it while we're live, because sometimes I can be technically challenged with trying to navigate my training and looking at the comments coming in, I do apologize ahead of time, but I always go back and answer them after I have posted the video for replays. I'm going live on my Instagram channel as well as in my Facebook profile. So I'm going to be looking up for Instagram and down for Facebook. So I'm going to try to be sharing my attention to both places. If you see me doing that, that's what's going on. So as a quick introduction, my name is Jessie Sletton, and I am your postpartum empowerment coach. I am the owner of Empowering Postpartum, and I help you feel as calm, confident, and prepared for your transition into parenthood as you do for your birth. So many parents, myself included, when I was a first-time mom, we spend so much time and energy on our baby registries and figuring out what birth classes we need to take and how we want to feed our baby and taking all the breast or chest feeding classes, or figuring out which formula is the safest and best to offer our baby, which bottles are the best. We do all this research and we look up all the latest and greatest car seats, and we do so much work, and we're so excited, and we put so much time into our birth plan. And then baby gets here and we are left reeling because we didn't put much thought or didn't think we needed to plan as heavily for our 4th trimester or our postpartum time frame and beyond. And it's such a crucial thing that we do for our own well-being as well as the well-being of our little ones, is to plan for that time. Plan for life after birth. Birth is just the beginning. It is not the end of our journey, right? So it's so important that we are putting just as much time and thought, if not more, into life with our little one and how we're going to navigate this huge transition in not only our own personal identity, but how we're going to heal our physical body, heal our mental wounds that we might incur during birth or that might get activated from previous traumas. There's so much that goes into becoming a parent, whether this is the first time we're doing it or we're a repeat parent or a parent who's been around the block a couple of times. Each birth and each postpartum is unique. And planning for that, having the right support system around us, having the right nutrition and knowledge about how to actually heal our body and what our body goes through and transforms on a cellular level to understand how to care for that body. So I think this is just the beginning, what we're talking about here, this creating a space for recovery. It's really, really important, but it's also just the tip of the iceberg. And so much of the work that I do with my clients, whether it's one-on-one or in a group program setting for my P4 program, it's all about the holistic picture. We don't just focus on one little tiny piece. We're going to talk about the big picture and how each thing relates to one another, and we build upon that foundation, and how it's so important to really feel like we have a solution, a strategy, or a plan moving into postpartum, so that if things don't go the way we expected them, or our ideal birth or our ideal postpartum, it's okay, because we have these different plan B's, C's, D's. We have the people around us, the supports and resources surrounding us to be able to navigate those bumps in the road. So if you're interested in learning more about the offers that I have available for really guiding you through your transition into parenthood, please let me know. Book a call. I have it in my bio on Instagram, and I have it pinned as the first comment here in the video on Facebook. It's a very laid back coffee chat, I like to call them. We sit back, we have a warm beverage, we talk about how I can help you and how I can be right by your side to create a plan that will help support your goals, support your relationship with your spouse, support your relationship with any older children you might have, and how to really navigate this with grace without completely losing yourself to it, so that you feel like you're thriving. So book a time with me. I'd love to chat and connect with you. But today we're going to dive into, like I said, figuring out what pieces of furniture you should really be having in your space. And the two we're going to talk about today is your bed and a comfortable supportive chair. And there's really three main reasons why this is so important: better sleep, improved posture, and reducing your pain while encouraging your healing. So that's really why we want to focus in on investing in comfortable pieces, whether that's something you already have, or making a few tweaks with what you already have, or looking into buying something new. It's really up to you. But we can make things work by tweaking what you already have as well. So we're going to talk about a few things like that today. So the first thing we're going to talk about is sleep, right? That's really the priority when it comes to when we're talking about our bed. Sleep is a very crucial piece to having so much of what we need in the postpartum time frame, including better healing outcomes, better mental health outcomes, and helping us regulate our hormones, and so much more. And so it's so important. But we also hear this conflicting stuff about you aren't going to get much sleep with a newborn, right? And so it's kind of like, well, what do we do? How do we make this an easier thing for us to obtain in the newborn phase, in the postpartum time frame? And one of those ways is finding something that's actually very comfortable for us to get that rest in. Whether we're fully asleep or we're resting, research has showed that when we actually are resting peacefully and maybe we're not falling fully asleep, it can still have beneficial benefits to our body and our mind, just as much as maybe getting an hour sleep. So it depends on the quality of rest that you're getting. And when we improve what we're sleeping on or what we're resting on, that quality increases, right? So one of the things we can do is really kind of make it more comfortable for us. A supportive mattress is important because it can alleviate any back pain, joint pain that can be really common in pregnancy and in postpartum. We have a lot of hormones going on in our pregnancy, and a huge dysregulation and regulation period in our postpartum time frame. And one of those hormones is called relaxin, and that can really help us prepare our body for the birthing process. It helps relax all the joints. It helps us be a little bit more flexible and sometimes over flexible. And so we can get some injuries sometimes, or we can have a lot of hip pain or knee pain, joint pain, just because our body is stressed and we have a little bit more extra weight and we are, growing a whole nother life within us. And so having something that's supportive for that can be really a sanctuary for our body to be able to relax into. So having a comfortable bed with soft sheets, with nice supportive pillows, having a body pillow can be really, really helpful. I still use my body pillow 2.5 years after my last birth because it's just so dang comfortable. So finding one that's really supportive, that's going to help even out your body's alignment when you're laying on your side, helping like lift up that knee, support a good plane with your knee and hip alignment can really help with that as well. So not only is the mattress important, but having these supportive pillows can be super helpful as well. And let's say you have a bed that, you know, you can't invest in a new one, but you're not super comfortable in what you're already sleeping on. A really good option could be finding a foam mattress topper. So sometimes you can find these at a really good price online. Some stores to think about if you have like a Costco membership or a Sam's Club or something like that. Sometimes you can get really good deals on these memory foam toppers that they sell. And that can be a really good solution if you aren't able to buy a new mattress right now. It's just not in the books for you. You can still make what you have work for you. So that's another good option. Something that we talk about too, that I talk about with my clients, to kind of help make the bed a more protected area for you in pregnancy and in postpartum, is investing in a really high quality mattress, waterproof mattress topper. So this is just something that goes underneath your sheets that can help protect the mattress from any sort of leakage that we might experience, whether in pregnancy or postpartum. So this can be really great, especially when you're getting closer to your due date. So if your water breaks in the middle of the night, you're not having to worry about ruining your mattress, right? And then another thing that I kind of joke about sometimes with my clients, if you're choosing to chest or breastfeed, having this topper can be really helpful because you can also kind of have some protection if you're having some breast milk leakage in the middle of the night. Sometimes we go through these engorgement periods where we're just like, oh my gosh, it's like everywhere when I wake up, right? So sometimes having that topper can really help protect the mattress piece, less cleanup for you, and you don't have to worry about any damage that, you know, might happen from that kind of stuff. So those are a couple of tips for the mattress and investing in a good mattress, making sure it's very supportive and comfortable for you. If it's not, maybe investing in a mattress topper that's like a memory foam type situation, and having a really good waterproof mattress cover can be really helpful as well. And of course, body pillows. I love the J-shaped pillows or the U-shaped pillows because they can really help provide full body support in a way that's really comfortable. You can also use these for breastfeeding if you're choosing to breast or chest feed. After baby is here, they can be propped up in different positions to help you more comfortably feed. And that's another thing that we want to consider, is being comfortable in bed, doing different feeding positions, whether or not you're breastfeeding or chest feeding or you're bottle feeding. You want to have, you know, a comfortable place that can provide good posture and support. And that kind of leads into the second piece, improved posture. So you can have that in your bed with lots of propped up pillows and things that we've talked about, but sometimes laying down too much can really be uncomfortable. We can start having, you know, sore muscles, and it just doesn't feel great to be laying down all the time. And sometimes we want to sit up straight. And this can be especially important if we are choosing to chest or breastfeed, because often we are hunched over, and we really want to try to avoid that because we can have a lot of rounded muscles, rounded back issues. We can have upper and lower back pain. We don't have any sort of core strength really right away after we've given birth. We're still healing in our core, so we really need to make sure that we are providing that support through the things around us when we don't have that centered support available as much right after giving birth. And so having a chair as another option for you to sit and recover in is really, really a great idea. And you want to look for a chair that is not only comfortable for you to sit and kind of recline in, so having something that might have an ottoman with it, or something that actually is like a reclining chair that you can pull back and recline, that offers you a kind of more flexibility with being able to lie back or sit up straight, to use that as a support with your feet. A lot of different things like that is really important. But you want to look for one that has a very good back support. So taller back, support. Sometimes they come with those lumbar pillows, which can be really helpful. The chair that we invested in our nursery for our second came with one of those lumbar pillows, and it had really supportive arms as well, which can be really helpful for feeding and holding baby. And something to consider too is if you are partnered and your partner is taller, you're going to want to look for a taller back of a chair. Because if the chair is kind of shorter in the back, they're going to have a harder time having support for their head if they're holding the baby while the baby's sleeping, or if they're choosing to take, or you guys are choosing to take shifts for feeding the baby if you're bottle feeding. It can be really uncomfortable to not have your head supported. So looking for a chair, a rocker, a recliner that has a taller back can really help provide that head support for both you, especially if you're a taller person, or your partner. So that's a little tip or trick I like to share when looking for the right chair to have in your recovery space. You also want to make sure that any sort of chair that you're using isn't too high or too low off the ground. This is especially important. Oh my gosh, what just happened? Sorry guys, my computer just stopped recording for my Facebook. Wow, I love technology. This is so fun. It just decided to shut down. So I'm going to continue on with Instagram. I will try to download this video and put it back up, hopefully, on Facebook. Why? Why does this always happen? I have the worst luck with technology sometimes. Sorry, give me all 1 second. I just want to see if I can get this back up and going. Like, why was right now the perfect time to restart laptop? So fun. Okay, anyway. Not having a chair that's too low or too high off the ground is important. That's kind of where we left off. I'm going to it's back up and running again. Seem to have full battery, so I don't know what that was about. So let me just pull up my Facebook one more time. Bear with me, Instagram. Love you guys. Just going to see if I can get this back on track really quick. So just bear with me. You guys are just so patient. Thank you, thank you. Okay. Let's get this back up and running. So I don't know how to go back live once the event ended. So I'm just going to go live on my page. Oh, I love this. Okay. No permission to upload a video. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, so Facebook. I'm going to be talking just to Instagram now, but what I'm going to do is I will try to download this video and upload it back onto my Facebook page. I am so sorry. I don't know what happened. Technical difficulties just kind of sneak up on us sometimes. So I will be sure to remedy that and make sure you guys get the rest of this training because I don't want you missing out. I've got some juicy stuff to share. So let's get back on track here. Of course, the chair that I was talking about not being too low or too high off the ground is for ease of getting up and down out of the chair, okay? So after birth, you're going to be healing a dinner plate-sized wound in your uterus. So no matter how you give birth, you're going to have some major healing. Birth is trauma, and we need to be able to have a slow postpartum time frame. You want to prioritize rest and recovery over anything else. This is your top priority alongside bonding with your baby. If you're not resting and not healing and not recovering, it will impact your ability to show up as your best, most attentive self, most present self with your little one. So having a chair that's easy to get up and get out of, including your bed too. If your bed is really high and you seem to struggle to get down off of that, think about maybe having some sort of step stool next to your bed that makes it easier for you to get out and in of your bed. And this is especially true for my C-section warriors, okay? For those of you who end up having a medical surgical birth, you are healing 7 layers of muscle and skin and fat tissue and all these things that are cut to be able to birth your baby. So it's so important. That is a major surgery that you need to be healing, and being able to protect your core and not put too much strain on that right away is very important. So be sure you're really cognizant of the height of beds and chairs. Let's see if there was anything else that I wanted to talk about with that, with the improved posture. Talked about the lumbar pillow in the chair is always helpful. And I think that's pretty much the bulk of the stuff I wanted to talk about. I'm a little like off my game now, you guys, because that technical difficulty kind of screwed me up. But we're back. We're good. We're all good, right? So to kind of, coincide with what we were just talking about, really finding pieces that are going to help you reduce that pain and encourage that healing. So, of course, I just mentioned that the more interventions, the more things that happen during your birth and laboring process, the more you need to heal. And it's so important to have a comfortable space with these pieces, your bed and your chair, but also something that's important to think about is just like the feeling of the space, having it be something that somewhere you want to be. This can even be down to like the duvet or the comforter that you have on your bed, making it something that you enjoy, something that makes you feel good, something that the colors vibe with you, and the kind of the energy you want to bring to your healing space. Is all things that you don't really think about that can be important, but they are. The heaviness of your comforter or the blankets that you have in your room or on your chair, having a variety of those. So you're with hormones after birth, right? We can go through some things. One of the things I struggled really with that I didn't expect at all were the night sweats. As a new mom, I would just wake up drenched, and I would be either way too hot or way too cold. It's just this regulation our body is going through, right? All these physiological, biological things that we're trying to navigate. And I think it's so important for us to have options. So if you have a heavier blanket and then a lighter weight blanket, a breathable blanket, your loungewear is important too. Just putting a lot of thought into having options that are really easy to reach for, so that you're not having to go to different rooms, go to different drawers, standing up and down a whole lot. You can just rest and nest in. Okay? So, that was a whirlwind of a training. But to recap, it's important for you, I believe, to have not only a supportive bed and mattress and all the things that can go with that, but also a chair. So we talked about some of the things to look for, how you can tweak the things you already have to make sure that you have the most supportive and comfortable furniture in your recovery space as possible before baby gets here. We talked about how that can improve better sleep outcomes, how that can improve your posture and support your healing body and reduce your pain and encourage your healing. So I hope that this was helpful. If you found this to be helpful, I would love for you to share it. I would love for you to let me know in the comments something that you're going to implement in your own healing space, and get a conversation going in the comments. And also, again, I want to remind you, my link for scheduling a coffee chat with me about just really helping you through your postpartum planning can be found in my link in the bio here on Instagram. When I upload this back up to Facebook, I will have it in the comments so you can easily access that as well. I'd love to connect with you. I want to hear about how your perinatal journey has been so far, what your hopes and dreams are for your postpartum time frame. And we're going to talk about what systems you already have in place and where those gaps are, that where my P4 program, or Preparing for Parenthood Postpartum Planning Program, it's a mouthful, can really help fill in those gaps. So schedule a call with me. It's totally free. We just sit to get to know one another and see how I can help you in this super crucial time, this exciting time in your life. And I will be back here, hopefully with less technical problems, on Saturday, and we're going to dive in to day 3 where we're going to talk a little bit more about the things that you can incorporate into your postpartum healing space that will really help you feel like you have a little sanctuary you can escape to. So I will see you all next time, and I will see you in the comments. Thanks, everybody.